Good evening, Rusk enjoyers, head to Norix. It's time for the predictions video. Yes, earlier today we had the March 2025 Rust Store, and in this video we're going to go ahead and try and figure out of all these skins, which of them is most likely going to be the best investment for this week, which of these skins might help us acquire some sweet, delicious looking profits. So sit back, relax, I'm going to start yapping. So, I'm looking at all these skins, I'm making considerations, quite a decent bit of variety, but I think I'm going to sit here and say, out of all of them, the skin that's most likely going to retain its value is probably going to be the Death Metal Fridge. But I do have to bring this up. In anticipation to the cooking update, which of course was the March Force Wipe update, we were fully well aware that changes were expected to happen with fridges. They're going to go from a roleplay item into becoming more of a necessity. That is how you keep your food fresh now. You had to put it in the fridge. Very simple. So, yeah, if they're going to be used a lot more, loads of people speculated that, well, okay, the skins are going to probably be desired more, wanted more. There's been more, justification to use them. So they got bought out. Prices rose up ever so nicely. But for many skins here, it really does look like they peaked around, well, March Force Wipe. If I were to just quickly show the ice cream freezer on the market right now, you can see that the lowest listing is $6.70, highest barter is $6. But you might notice that it's kind of going on a bit of a slow trend downwards. As you can see, peaks at the very beginning of March, then slowly started to go down. Not dramatically down, but the interest is slowly starting to go down. Now, when you look at all the other fridge skins, you might notice the exact same thing. So, in short, lots of people bought in due to speculation. They probably rushed to get some sales in, and unfortunately, there's quite a lot of them trying to be sold, and prices are slowly starting to go down. However, as we steer towards the summertime, could we have a bit of a rebound and see prices improve? Well, if we keep seeing more fridge skins being produced and accepted, like so, there might be problems. So with the Death Metal Fridge being accepted today, you might notice the Frog Fridge has slowly gone down in price. That's just one listing at the moment. It was basically evens since it came out, but now, yeah, we might start seeing a lot more of them. So I have discussed this in the past. In fact, I quite literally made a video discussing every single fridge skin that's in the game. If I could quickly show that to you right now, scroll down, you can see this right here. At the very end of the video, I was like, with this update, don't be surprised if Face Punch is feeling like more in the mood to accept fridges, and, well, that's clearly happening. 2 fridges accepted in March. What happens in April? What happens in May? What happens in June? What happens for the rest of this year? Well, there you go. So do be prepared for something like that. But as of now, based on how things are currently at, I wouldn't be surprised if this does a good job of retaining its value. And of course, on the horizon, we potentially might be seeing some more deplorables being produced for the Death Metal collection. Mr. Cubist is quite talented, and I definitely have faith that he'll be producing some very interesting skins in the future. Just got to keep it on the workshop. So, okay, maybe that does work out quite nicely, but you know what? It's also abnormal. You don't need to rush into buying it, more specifically as an investment. So if you don't know what abnormal skins are, let me help you out very quickly. So over to here, we have the most recent Rust Skin Abnormal Barters video for March 2025. In short, basically every single week with every brand new Rust store, there's certain special skins that have like a special condition to them that allow them to be marketable before the Rust even rotates, and we know exactly when that's going to happen. So if you could consider watching this video, watch the first 5 minutes, then scroll down and skip ahead to the Barders chapter that you can see right there, hopefully, you'll basically understand that the advantage this gives you makes it so much easier to identify if skins are potentially be very good investments or not. So give that a good watch. You'll understand it if you follow what I just said, and you'll understand that you do not need to rush into making any big fat, investments right now. You can wait until Wednesday. Look at the sales by then. You'll get a clearer picture. So that Death Metal Fridge, by all means, if you like it, if you want one for yourself, go buy one. Treat yourself. But if you're looking at it as an investment, wait it out. Patience is a virtue. Sounds good? Cool. All right then. So, looking at all these other skins here, I'm making considerations, and I think, I think this might be more of a long-term thing, but I think Fish Bucket Helmet might actually work out quite nicely. Now, immediately you might notice, hang on a minute, it's not selling that much. It's the second lowest at the moment. Okay, well, I also need to bring this up to your attention as well. How many bucket helmets do we actually get accepted? Oh. So in the past, we used to get quite a lot. Then in 2022, after 5 years, we got one, and then 3 years later, we got this one. Now, that didn't work out very nicely. It was manipulated in the past, but as of now, that's not holding up, is it? But this fish bucket, right, that's got a well-established collection behind it. It's also green, okay? in my rust rotation video, please consider watching that. Scroll down to the chapter where I do the green camouflage checks. It's not too bad. And you can use a green bandana with that. Default green. You could also use the banana leaf one. That's it, yeah. It does a very good job. Now, you can compare this with the, the fish head bandana, head wrap, sorry. But you can wear that and wear a bandana, and basically you'll have a lot more protection. At the end of the day, how often are you even using a bucket helmet? However, I don't expect many more bucket skins being accepted anytime soon. I think that's, with the help of the actual collection that it's part of, I honestly think that might work out well. And with the sales, it really doesn't look like it's going to sell recklessly, like stupidly. So that actually might work out quite nicely. But again, it might be a nice, slow, gracious rise up in price as time goes on. It took quite a long time for the fish kilt to actually go up in price nicely. It took until like December 2024. Since then, it's doubled in price. Yep, that happened. So, okay, you remember how that played out. Would the exact same thing happen again here? We shall see. So, okay, fair enough. It looks interesting, and give it a good watch on my rust rotation video to, get a good idea of how it looks, in the green grassy areas. But looking at all these other skins here, I'm also now making considerations for what potentially is going to be a nice investment. I'm curious about the Señor tomato. I'm curious. I want to see how much it sells. It's not abnormal, but it is the second highest selling skin at the moment. So let's just establish this. This year so far, we've had some cute looking skins. Baby Hippo Rock, Sloth Rock, cute enough, and Bee Rock. So you understand what I'm talking about, the animal rocks. Just remember this. When Capybara Rock came out, it was the first ever animal themed rock we ever got. He was cool, he was unique, and that sold over 30,000 sales, like in total. It was ridiculous. People really liked it. Then we got the hamster rock. Then we got the crab rock. Then we got the pug rock. Suddenly that wasn't so unique anymore. Suddenly it wasn't so special. And now look at it. It's down by a third. Back when it first came out, that went up to like $4. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'm sure you understand the point of if you keep seeing more and more cute rocks being produced, they're just not that special anymore. And that's what we're starting to see here. Now, of course, that was an animal. That's a tomato. Maybe it doesn't matter too much. Or maybe we end up with like plums and pears and apple rocks. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried. But I'm sure you get the whole point. We're getting a lot of these rocks all of a sudden, and it's getting very questionable. So as an investment, I'm questioning it. But if it doesn't sell too recklessly, and if we do end up seeing, a lot of positivity for Señor Tomato, I don't know if this turns into a collection or something, but all right, maybe it might work out nicely for it, just on the cusp as we turn towards the summertime now. We'll see. I'm curious, but I'm also very cautious. And let me tell you, there's been a lot of other animal rocks that have been submitted quite recently in the workshop. So, just kind of keep an eye out, be prepared. Right then, so looking at the remaining skins, I guess now I'll talk about the beauty industry locker. So I'm sure many of you are well aware, we have the beauty industry sheet metal door. That sold at $2.49. That rose all the way up to like $6 at one point. After post-Christmas, that being January time, it went down in price a fair bit. But with the arrival of this today, this went all the way up to $5.50. Is it still there? Yes, it is. Cool. So that worked out quite nicely. A nice little bit of spike in price. But let me just kind of bring this up to you. Don't just assume this locker is going to be A-OK. Yes, you got the cat girls, devil girls, I'm not sure which one. Neon girls, there you go, that's perfect. So, let me just point this out. This very randomly was accepted today. This was actually submitted like 2 months ago. We also saw that with the L96, we also saw that with the clothing here, and we also saw that with the SAP. And then all the other skins were early picks. This was a very strange rust store. Now, if I could also bring this up to you, the skin creators, they actually made other beauty industry skins in the past, recent past I should clarify. We had a garage door, we had a sheet metal door, like, they were trying, but Facepunch didn't accept. And they actually moved on until we've seen this today. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on, but they're probably feeling reinvigorated and want to put out, like, version 2s of the garage door and the sheet metal door now. Okay, that's optimistic. That's something we can look forward to. But also be aware that locker skins over the past couple of years or so, oh dear. Yeah, we've had, like, Forest Raiders locker, we had the Neon Storage lockers and whatnot. They're not doing super great at the moment, are they? No. So don't just assume, oh yeah, but it's part of a collection and whatnot, and it might work out with even more skins being accepted. That did initially happen with the Neon lockers, but then afterwards, January, best time to sell skins post-Christmas. These were in the negative. These were down in price. So be a bit cautious. You can wait it out. By all means, if you want one for yourself, then that's a gift. That's treat yourself, But if you're looking at buying maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, wait until Wednesday. It's abnormal. Use that time to advantage. Let's do the barters first, look at the support afterwards, and then make a consideration if you actually want to jump in and actually buy them, or just stick with the barter. So, okay, fair enough. You should be a little bit, prepared for potentially bad things. But the sales, it's not looking too ridiculous, but it definitely seems like it's on pace to match up the backpack from the previous week, which of course reached just over 20,000 subscribers. So, okay, we'll see how that turns out. Right, so now looking at the remaining skins, I think by default I should talk about the tie-hard clothing, which of course was a collection continuation to the poncho and the bandana. Now the poncho was bought out today, bandana not as much, but yep, you can see that's now sitting at about $3. You can see the bandana's just kind of sitting there at $1.26, not that much stock on the Steam market. Let me tell you this. The skin creators here, they're in a very interesting spot. They could probably make like hide boots, leather gloves, more burlap clothing, maybe, we shall see. There's definitely more potential primitive skins that they could produce that could then cause this to potentially spike in price. Will it happen? Debatable. Again, this is another instance where this was like a random pick from 2 months ago. Is that just going to be it from now on? Or are the skin creators going to feel motivated to continue with this? Well, very recently, they actually started to dabble with Tier 2. That's the funny thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just probably go back to doing some more primitive skins. I'm hoping for a disco mask. That'll look cool, but hey, we'll see. So it's interesting. There's lots of possibilities, but both of these skins, they're not abnormal. That could potentially be some problems. So we've got to wait until Wednesday, make considerations. Will the clothing here actually match up to the rest of the tire clothing, the bandana and the poncho? As of now, both of these have about 3,000 subscribers. These did about 9,000 subscribers on average. Is it going to be okay, or are these going to sell a little bit too much? That might cause problems. So I'll leave it for now. Right then, so looking at the remaining skins, I think I'm going to talk about the Crossbow, yeah, I think I will. So, Crossbow, this is part of the Deep Ruby collection, which only consists of 2 skins. The other skin is the AK, that was accepted a good several weeks ago, sold at $3.49, now it sits there at $1.55. But the problem was, we did not see any of these Deep Ruby skins being accepted for a very long time, until now. So, what do you mean? So, if I just go to here, as you can see, we've also seen Thompson, MP5, we've also seen a SAR, none of them are accepted. Oh, there you go, there's a Rock as well. None of them are accepted, until randomly today we saw this after 2 months on the workshop. So I'm still in the same boat of I'm not sure if we're actually going to see like more skins being produced accepted. The skin creator, he has tried, but I guess he just got to do version 2, resubmission, make some tweaks, make some changes. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he at least tries. That crossbow does look very nice. Consider watching my rust rotation video to get a good look at it. It's nice and shiny, very uniquely coloured compared to all the other crossbow skins that exist in the game. But is that enough? But with crossbows in general, they don't really go down super bad. And, well, I think the cheapest one right now is like $1.20. So, if I just go do that real quickly, they don't go like all the way down to like 60 cents to 80 cents. So, okay, fair enough. But with that colour scheme and whatnot, surely it would retain at least a little bit more of its value. We'll see. Again, that's also abnormal. We can do barters first, then make, approaches afterwards. Now I want to talk about the Ultramarine Backpack. So, of course, you can clearly see this collection's doing pretty good. Very nice, yes. And I can't help but assume in the summer it's going to be appreciated a fair bit more. Yeah. I think the skin creator will commit to more of it. But what else can he do now with clothing armor? Jacket, I guess. That's it, really. Maybe tries to do some primitive skins, we shall see. Weapons, I mean, I'm not saying no. Will he return to doing deplorables? We'll have to wait and see. But other than that, overall, these clothing armor skins have done a very good job of retaining their value. And now we have a backpack. But again, backpacks, how many have we got so far after it becoming skinnable like 4 months ago? 21. That's madness. That is ridiculous. And there will be more backpacks this year. There will be Twitch drops as well. Don't be surprised by that. So, okay, might be a bit of a problem. I've already talked about this over the past few weeks. We're suffering with fatigue now. People have already bought backpacks. They don't need more, and they don't feel the need to buy any more. We just had the cool blue backpack last week, which of course pairs up with the Arctic Hazmat. And then we got literally another blue backpack the very next Rust store. I don't think that's going to sell that much. I think that actually might be very tame and it could work out very nicely in comparison to the rest of the Ultramarine skins here. That's a big hope, alright? So there's no guarantees. If anything, I kind of just want to stick with doing a barter and hope for the best. But as we approach the summertime, based on how things are with the Ultramarine collection, do you reckon that'll probably be held up with all of these? And do you reckon as we approach the summer where we're expecting a lot more people to be jumping in and playing, especially with this jungle update on the horizon, I'm just saying I think things might improve quite nicely for it, but it might not be a huge gain. It might be a slow, gracious, nice gain. So maybe Barda is better. Cool. And then for the very last skin, oh, actually no, have I talked about the L96? I don't believe I have. Let's go talk about you. So with the L96 skins, we've got to bring this up. How many of them are actually in the positive? Only 2. Now, we have seen some work out a fair bit better compared to others, but on average, they all go down by about 50%. But when you look at the very cool black gold L96, yes, it's still down in price, but it's not down too bad. It's appreciated, and this sold quite a lot. This did almost 30,000 subscribers, but it's shiny. It's got a cool design to it. It's part of an established collection. People appreciated it, and it did improve as time went on. Now we have the Redemption L96. This is not going to reach 30,000 subscribers. We have the well-established Redemption collection. Some skins are doing quite all right at the moment. Not all of them, though, but it is March. We're expecting improvement once we reach around the summertime. So, okay, fair enough. And the skin creator is intending to add some more skins again. So, okay, we'll see what's appearing on the workshop. But this L96, I'm still questioning it. As you just saw with the L96s, a lot of them are down in price. How often are you even using an L96? Feel free to comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts in regards to that and, get a good idea how often you're actually using it. But yeah, I'm a bit unsure, but the sales might not be too ridiculous. As of now, we don't know. We haven't got a clear picture, but after the first 24 hours, I'll probably have to make some assumptions. I think it's going to sell nicely, not ridiculously, but I'm still going to worry about it. But in past summers, Redemption weapon skins have sold quite nicely, and I can't help but assume that might follow suit. I think it's going to do a decent job of potentially retaining its value, but the more it sells, the less I'll feel that way. So that'll be my answer. Okay, we'll see how it turns out. Then we have the SAP. Now, I'm not super into the mini Copter skins, in which we have 2, and the first one was the last one, and that is the SMG, and it's down by 56%. Oh dear. But this is a SAP, and you got to take this into consideration. They're doing very well. They're doing good. Like, that's how they looked in the summer of 2024. But right now it's March, and March should be one of the bad times. This is confusing. Now, some of the lesser, nicer looking ones are still doing pretty good. Down 1%, down 7%, down 21%. That's not good overall, but that's not as bad as what they were. And then all of these are like up 8, up 90, up 28, up 41. Now, please be aware of this. When it comes to SAP skins, they don't really go up in price that much. All right? Just want to give you a heads up there. So that's only up by 25%. That's only up by 16%. I think what's the most expensive one? Let's just go find out. When you go really far back, and you get like some of the really older ones, and the glow-in-the-dark aim sight ones. So I don't think we want to really compare with that. Maybe we'll go down to as low as like here, and you see some of them sell for like $6 and whatnot. Okay, that's probably a lot more better. But look, there's Redemption SAP. That only came out like 2 years ago, and that's working out very nicely. But that is no Redemption SAP. That is a very grounded approach. So for what it is, I don't expect it to be selling too ridiculously. Again, you can clearly see it's the lowest selling skin so far. But just because it hasn't sold that much, and just because it doesn't look super pretty, with a smart barter, you could still make some pretty good profit with it. So we'll see how it turns out, but I do think I will just stick with a barter. Also, that's not abnormal, so that might be a bit troublesome, but we'll see how it turns out. Let's wait until Wednesday. Okay, so we've got that all nice and said. Everything is looking reasonably okay to a point. Barders might be the smarter approach to, well, everything in general, duh. But let's also talk about certain things that are on the horizon. So let's go over to here. Let's talk about what we're seeing on the commits. So I'm sure many of you are fully well aware now that we are getting some high wall skins. We're going to get the Frontier high wall for the wood walls. Sorry, brain fart. And we're also getting Adobe for stone. So that's nice. Also, lots of talk in regards to jungle update content. Swinging vines, yes, I'm sure you're probably aware of that, but if you're not, we're going to get like huge trees that you're going to be able to swing from tree to tree with like special vines. Apparently they're indestructible as well, so that's nice to know. So yeah, we're not going to be ziplining everywhere, we're going to be swinging from trees, yippee! And then over to here we have lots of talk about snakes, yep, cool, venomous, yippee! And then we've got blowpipe. Now, why am I bringing this up now? Well, we actually have a nice little quick view to showcase of what we are expecting here from Protox's Twitter. Thank you very much, good sir. He's got a visual on all of it. Tiger, panther, crocodile, blowgun with 4 different darts, ziggurat monument, and the snake. Just a little twig there. But yeah, there's the blowgun. 4 different darts. Bone, wood, incapacitate, dark. I don't remember what the other one. Where's the other one? I don't remember. I don't think they've mentioned it. But yeah, that's a brand new weapon that'll be coming up with the jungle update. So I know a lot of you are probably rubbing your hands and waiting in anticipation. Take that into consideration. There's probably going to be a lot of people wanting to play when this releases. The jungle biome with all the brand new trees, flowers, foliage, and new potential metas, new potential base ideas. I'm just saying, we'll see. But I think, yeah, for the first time ever, a brand new biome being added to Rust, at least for a lot of people that play the game, and they're going to want to experience that. And so many people are going to die to tigers and panthers and crocodiles. It's going to be beautiful. But yeah, just take that into consideration. Also, I want to show on Protox's Twitter as well. We also happen to have some footage of the high wall skins. So yeah, please consider keep an eye out for Mr. Protox's Twitter in the future, and you'll be fully well aware of new upcoming content. Get a good look at that. The Frontier high wall building skin. Right, there you go. Sorry, I'm saying it weirdly. You actually have a ledge, and you can stand in it and look down, but you can also put turrets on it. It technically is pay to win, because I don't think the standard wood high wall does that, does it? No. But again, it's also only for the wooden one, all right? Only for the Frontier, not the stone. That might be a little bit too much. And that one, it isn't as hard to knock down, of course, so I guess that's a fair trade. So yeah, all right, cool. And also, apparently you have to pay for that separately compared to the actual building skin. We don't fully know yet. Nothing official has been said in regards to that, but yippee, spending more money. So yep, that is Mr. Protox. Give him a good look on Twitter, of course. And overall, that is basically everything. I have yapped and yapped and yapped. Now, as I did say a little bit earlier, with the skins over here, whilst there's quite a decent amount of them that were extra late, as in there were skins that were in the workshop for like several weeks, pretty much every other skin was an early pick. So early pick, early pick. Early pick. We were fully already aware of all of these skins. They weren't even in TGG's top picks list. And that is where I will now showcase to you that if you want to be up to date with all the new skins that are appearing on the workshop and making considerations for potential nice investments if they appear, consider watching my Rust Workshop Skin Checks video. Scroll down, you'll see all the collection continuations are chaptered right there. So yeah, everything that was accepted today, it's right there. You could have already seen it. Right then, so sorry if I slurred and murmured a bit there, but it is a bit late for me, so I do apologise. But regardless, thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Let's look forward to the summer. Let's find out when the actual jungle update comes out. I'm not expecting it for April, but we are expecting 2 brand new Easter items for Easter 2025. Some sort of inflatable horse costume, might be exactly like the chicken costume, the legs. And we're expecting a brand new Rustage egg, a nice light blue, which uses the cargo music. So cool. Hold on, one more thing. So Becca Something, she's going to be doing her UTERUST event again next week, March 27th to the 30th. As you can see, we're raising money for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. We already have some merch and whatnot, but we also happen to already have the tiltifier right here, and the goal is to try and raise up to $8,008.50. So yes, we also have some milestones. I've offered to completely go bald and shave off my eyebrows to go complete potato mode. Yes, I guess I'll have to do that until it all grows back. Something for you to look forward to, I guess. So yeah, that will all be kicking off next week, and you can go watch everybody. All you have to do is just go to the UTERUST shop website here, click live channels on Twitch, and everybody will have the UTERUST tag. So yeah, it's all for a good cause. And if you'd like to consider donating, there's also some raffles. So if you donate at least $10, you'll be eligible to potentially win a VIP code to Rustified, Reddit, Rusty Moose, Rustopia, Rustoria, or Rusticated servers. And with $25 donated, you could potentially win some Rust DLC. As I said, all for a good cause, and I'm sure you love boobies. So, it's all for a good cause. So thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it, and consider watching the charity event next week. Thank you. Goodbye.